I think, like politicians usually use these equality and these kind of things, these kind of claims as to gain popularity. Pretty much, they use other stuff too.
Yeah, this is what we call very often cultural Marxism or cultural communism, but cultural Marxism is a more common term. And what does that mean? It means it's a method of generating victimization, the feeling of being a victim, even when someone is not a victim. But if you can cause someone to get angry because they feel like a victim, then yeah, they'll want to support some politician which comes along and says, you're a victim, I can fix this if you vote for me. And yeah, it's kind of like if women earned less than men on average, are they victims? No, not really. But it's often being used as if they were victims.
Yeah, because they don't see the entire picture. They don't say, okay.
They don't say the entire picture of why women on average earn less than men. And there's, someone that wants to study this in general, they can go see a lot of videos by Thomas Sowell, or who's not an Austrian economist, by the way, but you can also see many Austrians that talk about this. But the general explanation is that women often make life decisions that lead to them earning less than men, and that's often a good thing. It means they're doing stuff that they really want to do instead of just worrying about making money.
Yeah, I have to say something about, like you mentioned Thomas Sowell, and I checked some of his articles. I haven't read a book of his just yet. It will happen. Okay, I'm sure of it. But I have seen some things that he explains about, for example, about slavery in the US, okay, which I found very interesting because there was slavery in the US and they teach it very much in schools, and there was discrimination in the US and they teach it, which is fine, but they forget to mention that US was a mild case of slavery if you actually look at the history as a whole, and even history of that time.
Yes.
Okay, like if you look at the history, like what happened in Africa back that time, there was really bad cases of slavery over there, really, really bad. And I found that interesting when he said that, and I checked up on it, and he was right. And is that another case of some side of cultural Marxism?
Yes.
Maybe to some point.
To a large degree, yes. I mean, all slavery is evil. So, as freedom advocates, we oppose all forms of slavery. But, would you, if you have to choose, let's say, between being a slave in the early United States, or let's say a slave in one of the Islamic countries, I'd be willing to make an educated guess that the slavery in the United States was much less harsh.
Definitely. And you also have to mention that, like, you know the phrase, another day, another dollar. You heard about that, right? You know that one. That was an actual phrase where people worked a whole day and earned $1.
Well, maybe $1 is worth a lot more, and that that brings us back to the money issue.
Which brings back to an issue. But it wasn't simple times.
Obviously.
Obviously, it wasn't simple time. Which actually you did speak. I wanted to just to back up a little bit.